Going live. And we're live, guys. The day has come. The day that we've been waiting for. The day of the hackathon, the Moralis Avalanche Hackathon. Believe it or not, but it is time. And in this opening ceremony, we'll have a lot of important guests, as you'll see, from Avalanche, from Avalabs, from Chainlink. This whole ceremony is packed with important guests. And most importantly, we're also going to discuss the prices, because the prize pool in this hackathon is absolutely massive. Let me quickly show it to you. The total prize pool is $500,000. And if you really think about it, this is the power of Web3, because there is no other hackathons except in Web3 where you have these kinds of prizes. You know, normally you go to Web2 hackathons, you get like a sticker, okay, and maybe you get some t-shirt, and that's it. Here, we're very serious, right? It is 500,000 as total, and main prize for the top three is 175K. I will soon tell you how they are divided. You have to watch until the end of this ceremony to know that. And for all of you who are watching, if you still have not registered, this is the time. This is the time to register. And this whole first week is going to be warm-up week. We call it a bit of warm-up. Why? Because this first week, you still have time to form a team. You still have time to think about ideas. You still have time to connect with other people that are in this hackathon, that you can do something amazing together. And I encourage you right now to look in the description. You come to this website, you scroll down to the schedule right here. You see all schedule on the website, but go and click here, view and sync calendar. Do it right now. Why is it so important? Because you will be getting updates in real time from this hackathon straight into your calendar. Let me show you how it looks like. It will look something like this, where you have all of the different events in your calendar. And of course, you can add it to your existing calendars, and it will be very easy for you to follow. And these events, we're still going to add them more and more and more. So this is very important. So this is how it's going to look like approximately. We'll see it, not exactly, but approximately, because we're also going to change it, and you're going to get a lot more other events there. So this is important. That's number one, that you've signed up. You understand that this first week is a warm-up week. You still have time to form a team. You still have time to think about ideas. And number two, what you should do is to join our Discord, because in the Discord is where you will be getting information fastest. Let me show it to you. If you look in the description, you will find this page right here, the link to this page, which is Become a Moralis Mage. When you enter your email here, you come to our Discord. You will get an invite to our Discord, where you can see these three important channels. Avalanche, you see this Avalanche Hackathon category, and in this category, you see general, looking for a team, you see hackathon announcements. So go here, and most importantly, go to hackathon announcements and follow it. You see, you go here, you can follow it right here. And if you're looking for a team, you can talk here and try to find people. There are many people that are looking for a team, so it's going to be a lot of talent that you can find here. And also, if you look at our calendar, you see that we do have team building events each and every day of this week, because it's the warm-up week. Each and every day of this warm-up week, we have team building events. So that if it is the case that you still don't have a team, you're still looking, you're still searching, and you still don't know who to work with. And by the way, you don't have to have a team. You can be alone also. Very important to mention. We have many people that are participating alone. But if you want a team and you want to work together with someone, then you can go here to the schedule, and you will see it in the calendar. If you click your view and sync calendar, it will be getting straight into a calendar. But you see that each and every day, starting from today, by the way, after this opening ceremony, we're going to have a team building workshop. Tomorrow, we're going to have a team building workshop, and it's a bit different time zones every day, so that you can at least have one team building workshop where you participate. It's very important. You should participate in at least one. And so you can see this whole week, we do have team building workshops. And these workshops, I mean, they're very funny because they are in metaverse. I mean, this is how it's going to be looking like. Basically, you come close to a guy. Let me see if I can come close here. Yeah, you see, I come close. I can now start building teams with this guy. So you walk around. It's kind of like in a conference, you know. It's in a conference, but it's in metaverse. So you will see it in your calendar. So right now, people are hanging here even before the initial. Let's see if we can speak to this guy, Dana. She's away. And you can sit around the table. You can pitch your idea. Maybe you'll get some people to like your idea. So each and every day for this whole week, we have scheduled events in this metaverse. And you find how to join, the link to join. You find it in your calendar invite. And also, if you're confused or something, just go here to Hackathon announcements. They will also be announced here. Dapp Mafia boss, you're live in the opening ceremony. nice. Yeah. So this is going to be, I mean, we just found this thing a few weeks back, actually last week. And yeah, we're amazed. We're amazed how we can do team building in the metaverse. So this is going to be for team building. Now, before we bring important guests, and I know that many of you want to get to the guest as soon as possible, let us talk a bit about how this hackathon works. Because this hackathon, as you know, it is called Moralis Avalanche Hackathon. We at Moralis do it together with Avalanche, with Ava Labs. And it's very important for you to understand what Moralis does, first and foremost, because Moralis is the solution that allows you to do the most important things your dapp has to do: login users, fetch transactions, fetch balances, fetch smart contract events, to watch for real-time alerts on the blockchain. I mean, normally, without Moralis, you would be building your own backend to do that. You will be building your own backend solution where you connect to the RPC node, you try to sync, you try to do a database, you try to scale this whole thing, because as soon as you get a few users, now you have to scale it. You have to spend months building this. But Moralis is this packaged backend which already is working. You just go to Moralis website, you sign up, you connect to your JavaScript, and instantly you can log in a user like this on Avalanche. As soon as the user is logged in your database on Moralis, you have all of their tokens, balances, transactions, everything. And you just wrote one line of code to log in a user. And as soon as the users move something on the blockchain, it's automatically updated in the database. And most importantly, this works cross-chain in many cases. So if you want to connect Avalanche to other chains, you can, but it's also cross-platform. So let's say you want to build mobile apps, very, very easy to do it. If you want to build web apps, very, very easy to do it. Even we are now launching that if you use Avalanche, you can go and you can build games in Unity Game Engine, and it's so easy. You just click Authenticate here. You get the Wallet Connect pop-up. You scan it instantly, you are in game with your wallet. All your NFTs, all your assets, they're all synced. So we're really opening up new horizons here, because this is a totally new technology that excels so much. It excels Web3 development so much that when we ask people, how much time have you saved using Moralis, they often tell us that, hey, it's between 80 and 90%. And on average, it's 87% that you save. It's massive. It's absolutely massive. And of course, we're doing this together with Avalanche, who are the main sponsors, and they've organized most of the partners here, and Avalabs has helped a lot as well. And Avalanche, as you know, very, very low price transaction fees, very, very low price transaction fees, very scalable blockchain that has grown a lot lately. And to tell us more about Avalanche and the vision, and to give us a bit of more insights, we do welcome our first guest. And our first guest is Emin Gun. As you probably know from Twitter, if you've been following Avalanche, you know, on Twitter there are all of these red triangles, but also maybe the most important red triangle is Emin Gun. And Emin Gun is, you can say, is the founder of Avalanche. He can introduce himself, but he's the CEO of Ava Labs. So he is not Avalanche, he's Ava Labs, very important. So on that note, we are bringing Emin to the stage. Let's see, add to stream. Emin, can you hear me? Check.
Hi, Ivan. Hello, everyone.
Yes, we can hear you. So, Emin, how has this? Let's start with a bit of state of Avalanche, because people watching this, they have seen the Avalanche ecosystem grow a lot. Of course, the token has appreciated a lot. Everything is mooning. How would you yourself describe the current state of this ecosystem that is Avalanche?
It's been an amazing ride, Ivan. So we stand poised at the beginning of a huge revolution. And I think, just before Avalanche, where are we now? I think is maybe the place to start from. We stand poised to revolutionize the way finance is run. We stand poised to replace the rails that exist underneath all of these proprietary stovepipe systems, to replace them with open, fast, compliant, flexible, and super cheap rails that are open for innovation. That, I think, is the value proposition on the table. Avalanche has been seeing a lot of growth, and that growth is stemming from the fact that all of the techies who know how to look behind the scenes and who know how to probe at the marketing claims of different chains are realizing that there is something that is revolutionary and super exciting behind the covers here. We've seen an immense growth in the number of wallets on top. We have just broken the 1 million user record on Avalanche. We're seeing an enormous number of transactions. We have used more gas per day than Ethereum now. and we have TVL that is unprecedented, at least for ourselves. We are the #3 most value locked chain when we consider the staking rewards on top of the platform as part of the TVL as well. So we're in a very, very good situation right now with a lot of interest happening around Avalanche, and it's such an exciting time to be building new things.
And so this is a hackathon that is focused solely on Avalanche. What kind of ideas, use cases, niches in the Avalanche ecosystem you're looking forward to see in this hackathon? Maybe you have some inspiration for people, some ideas, some insights. What is needed and what you are excited about when people build on Avalanche?
I can rattle off 3 things off the top of my head, but I am a professor and a scientist. So the thing that gets me most going are things that I've never seen before. I love creativity, I love energy, and I flock to it when I see it. So don't be constrained, don't feel constrained by anything I say. But the 3 things that get me excited are, first and foremost, DeFi. DeFi is here to stay. DeFi is big, and it's so much more amazing than the legacy systems it replaces. So the new innovative platforms that are coming into the DeFi ecosystem, I am super thrilled to see. There's so much more to do in terms of decentralized exchanges, in terms of lending platforms, in terms of you name it. It's flash loan systems, you name whatever you might like to do in DeFi, collateralization efforts, new assets on top. These are all extremely exciting to me. Second, I'm excited about NFTs. And I'm not excited about the fact that, I'm not excited so much about pictures,
Profile
but I
picture.
am excited. I am excited, right-click savable things, but I am excited about the infrastructure around NFTs. And the reason for this is actually really simple, Ivan. NFTs are just non-fungible tokens, and the things we build to handle non-fungible tokens are exactly those things that we are going to need to handle non-fungible financial instruments that are still emerging. You know what else is non-fungible? Corporate debt, commercial paper. So these things are all coming, and the types of infrastructure that we build to hold funny pictures and wallets and so forth is also going to be important when we deal with commercially important, non-fungible, bespoke contracts of financial value. And the third and final thing that gets me going and excited, it's a bit more of a futuristic play. I believe that right now, this year, is the time of financial applications. It's the era of capitalization. It's the era of capital flow for blockchains. But looking forward, I'm excited about Web3. I'm excited about interactions with web services without intermediaries. I'm excited about technology that involves cryptography and other advanced techniques so that we don't have to trust other people with our data. So all 3 of those areas are very, very exciting. But going back to the first thing I said, innovation of all kinds is what really gets me going.
Yeah, and it's very interesting what you say about that. All these JPEGs, NFT JPEGs, profile pictures, they pave the way for the true heavy use cases, like you say, with finance, with corporate debt. Also, real estate is non-fungible options. I mean, all futures, all this is non-fungible in many cases. And that's exactly what is needed for us to go ahead even further. And if you look at other technological revolutions like the iPhone, when the iPhone came out, you had these silly apps like, the beer app. You have like an animation of a beer. You can drink beer on your, it's like the early apps. People didn't even know what to do with this app store, so they just built some funny things, and with time it of course evolved, and we have now real applications, real use case. So the same is going to be with crypto. And also, speaking about DeFi NFTs, we do have a lot of sponsors in this hackathon. Do you, Emin, want to thank them, or should I thank them?
No, I would love to thank the key sponsors, and there are quite a few, and you can see how strong and burgeoning this ecosystem here is. I would like to thank Avalanche, Covalent, Benki, Trader Joe, YieldYak, Snowball, Pangolin, and Penguin Finance, Rugdoc and Paladin, Chainlink, Krabada, Colony, Avengers DAO, and Alpha Finance. And in addition to this set of innovative players in this ecosystem, I would also like to thank the key players behind the scenes whose contributions have made this possible. And that includes 3 Arrows Capital, Republic Crypto, AP Capital, GBV Capital, Gerstenbrod Capital, Alameda Ventures, GSR, Hypersphere, and Mechanism.
Perfect. Thanks, Emin. And thank you for joining us here on this opening ceremony. And we hope to see you soon as well as you move ahead with your journey, because it's very nice always to follow you. On Twitter, I see you are in different debates. So keep going, keep spreading Avalanche, and thanks for coming on here. Let's see. Back to stream. Let's see. Remove. Sorry, guys. There. Okay, perfect. So big shout out to Emin again for coming on. And as you can see, we do have a lot of sponsors, and we will soon explain to you how the prize pool, because the prize pool is massive. It's almost $500,000. It is actually over $500,000 now. We will soon explain to you how that is divided, because we do have the main prize. Let me show it to you again on the website. We do have the main prize of $175,000. You can see it on the screen right now. And then if you look how it is, so altogether it is 500, and top 3 of it is 175. So top 3 projects will get 175, but the rest is shared among all other projects that use the sponsors, that use the sponsor technologies. Here, if you scroll down, you can see YieldYak, you see Pangolin, and all others. So you will understand more how this is divided later on, and we will then also put it on the website. So keep watching, because we'll get into that. The most important thing is that you, of course, participate, you build something, and the rest will figure itself out, because this is the most important thing with all hackathons, that you participate, you build, and the most important thing you'll always get is knowledge. But statistically, you are way more likely to win something in hackathons like this than in any other hackathon. Web3 hackathons, I'm telling you, the price to project ratio, it's mind blowing. It is mind blowing. I've never seen any other industry like that. And we do have a lot of guests, of course, that we have planned for you here as well. So we just had Gan from Avalabs, and right now we're bringing on Luigi Donorio Di Meo, director of DeFi at Avalabs. So let me bring up Luigi to the stage right here. Luigi, now you're live.
Hey, how you doing, Ivan?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Nice to be here with you. You struggled with the name a little bit, but it's Donario Di Meo.
Luigi Donario Di Meo, yes. So please tell us something that you have insights on, which is, of course, the state of Avalanche development. Can you speak about how that is, and the journey you guys have had recently? Of course, we did hear a bit from Emin, but from your perspective as DeFi, as director of DeFi, how do you see the Avalanche space growing?
Sure. So, I think the growth of Avalanche has really been a culmination of 3 important infrastructure items that all came together at once. One being the new bridge that we launched. That was the Avalanche bridge. That was in the summertime. Fastest, cheapest, best UX bridge in all of crypto, and it shows, right? So that was one piece. The next piece is we needed lending in our DeFi ecosystem. And that happened with the culmination of Banky and then Aave deploying on Avalanche. So those 2 components, with the third component of Avalanche Rush, which was the DeFi incentive program that we launched. It was originally announced a $180 million program that is to incentivize DeFi applications to build on Avalanche. And that could be in the form of liquidity mining or various other methods that I think people will continue to innovate on going forward. Those 3 items came together and is what really springboarded Avalanche into really being adopted. And so since then, we've seen about over 1.1 million wallets, 100,000 daily active wallets, 700,000 approximately monthly active wallets, about $13 to $14 billion in TVL, potentially 20 depending on how you measure it. So we've really seen a large growth, and this has all happened in a very short amount of time. I would say about 3-4 months. And so in terms of the actual growth now in builders, what you're seeing is that pipeline that started when we really started to springboard off is where we're going to see now really exciting, innovative dapps deploying. Right, because that pipeline started 3 to 4 months ago, and we're excited to continue this pipeline. And this is where our focus is in terms of these hackathons, and this one being the one that we're focused on right now. This is a longer-term one. You have approximately 2 months to build something really cool and unique. I would challenge everybody to really be innovative here. We see a lot of really cool stuff being deployed on Avalanche, but I would love to see, new ideas. Your best idea ever. Here's a prize for it, right? Here's your chance to do it. And it's over the holiday break, so it's a really good time to
Exactly. That's how we thought. You have Christmas, you have early January. You don't have anything to do anyway, so you can be programming and learning and developing. So that's the plan. Yes.
And what I'll say just real quick about the Avalanche community is our focus is just to have the best builders possible, right? We do not want anything else. We want a community that's completely focused on helping each other out. And I think you'll see that we have a lot of community-sponsored Discords and messaging chats where all different dapps like Trader Joe, Benki, and the existing ecosystem helps newer projects get onboarded. And then at Ava Labs, we help to amplify how we can. So I think this is the perfect place to be at the perfect time to be. And if you're building anywhere, you should be building here.
Yeah, and when you say that you have a community grants, and how does that work? Let's say someone is watching this and they have an idea, they want to be in the hackathon. Of course, we have great prices for hackathon, but let's say that they become even bigger. What is the process actually to apply, and how do these grants look like normally for DeFi projects?
Sure. So we have a grants program, Avalanche X grants program, which can be found on the website. You can apply directly there. But aside from that, we have a few programs. We also there's also a Blizzard fund, which is a direct ecosystem fund. Names of like Polychain, 3AC are participants in that fund, so that can provide investments to projects and lead rounds. So that's really exciting. A lot of funding there, 200 million plus. And then we have the incentive program, right? And the incentive program is a little unique because not only can you get your project funded, but now you can actually have it bootstrapped, right? So if it's a really great idea and everybody's falling behind it, we can amplify that with liquidity mining or some sort of incentive to get users' attention. We know attention is very sparse in crypto.
Yes.
So how do you get their attention? Well, you can do various of these, a lot of network bootstrapping mechanisms that, we've shown have worked in the past.
And when it comes to all of these different grants and also funds, because you said that some of it is grants, some of it is investing as a fund, different funds that support this initiative. So is it all use cases? Let's say someone has NFT game, it's not DeFi. Is it still possible? Everything is possible? Everything's
possible. Yeah. No, I mean, DeFi. We've obviously had the maybe one of the most robust DeFi ecosystems out there at this moment. So that's kind of why that's been the focus. But we are there's a very large growing ecosystem in terms of NFTs. We also have subnets, which we haven't even mentioned yet, which is going to be the way our Avalanche will horizontally scale. So what everybody here will probably build on is called the Avalanche C chain, which is an instance of the EVM, right? But Avalanche as a network, that's not what it's, that's not what the end game is necessarily, right? We can have these subnets where essentially you can wrap any kind of VM you want in one of these subnets and run something different. You can have a Rust VM, right? You can have a VM that just runs, for one company, right? You could just have a Facebook subnet, et cetera, et cetera. And this will allow blockchains to scale because, necessarily not every single application needs the same amount of decentralization and security as everything else. So that would be another thing that you'll see going forward.
And that's very important that you communicate that, because I think many people think that Avalanche is like a faster Ethereum, but at the core, it's so different. For example, when we run our Avalanche nodes, we run the Avalanche node, and then the C chain is kind of on top of it. It's not that it's like Geth. It's not. It's emulate on top of it. So it's very interesting that you will go further in that direction, and it will be very interesting to see how it will be, what kind of tools are needed, how it will work. Will it be like Polkadot, or will it be like Ethereum 2 with sharding? How would you say, by the way, is it more like Ethereum 2 with sharding or Polkadot? Are there anything we can compare the subnets to that are today, or is it completely different?
Yeah, maybe like a mix. It's different than both. It's a little bit more customizable. So like a subnet, you can have completely permissioned if you'd like, right? So if you wanted to wall it off, you could wall it off and choose your validators. You could actually specify the jurisdiction that they're in, right? Which is really going to be important for regulatory features going forward. Or, let's say that you wanted to form some consortium, to remake the CME and settle all swaps. Well, let's tear the CME out and put all the banks on a subnet by themselves, and they can settle swaps rather than putting it all in one entity. So there's going to be various use cases in crypto and Web3 going forward, and having a system that's customizable and flexible enough to adapt to that is, I think, why we're all here.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go, guys. Number one, remember there is grants, there are funds. Number two, understand that Avalanche it's so much more than just an EVM. Although right now it's growing a lot like an EVM, there's gonna be way more technologies and way more opportunities in the future as well. So Avalanche, there is a lot to gain if you learn it. So keep that in mind. So Luigi, any final words before we end this section?
No, I mean, I would just say, find the inspiration inside of you, see what you can build, and if there's any way I can help, DM me. Happy to bounce ideas off you and see how I could be a resource as well. Just want to see a bunch of people working really hard, thinking really hard, and innovating. That's all I care about.
Fantastic. And thanks for joining us, Luigi. So guys, all of you who are watching, remember to number one, smash the like. Number two, subscribe to this channel. Number three, go and share this on Twitter. I do see, by the way, we have almost 250 people watching live. Go smash this like heavily because I see we only have 117. So let's get it up more. And share on Twitter. Let's get some red triangles retweeting it because there are many red triangles on Twitter. So maybe you can tag them. It's so we get some momentum going in the retweeting world. And by the way, guys, I see some questions being asked. We're gonna get into questions at the end, and we're gonna explain to you how everything is broken up in terms of price. And don't forget also, let me remind you about the most important thing. I feel that actually the most important thing is that you go and you sign up on the calendar because we have so many different events planned. We don't want you to miss them. I mean, we will have events about mobile development, about Unity game engine development, about how to create different use cases like social media, chat apps. So you can have a mobile app with Avalanche, you log in, you can chat. I mean, it's so much we're gonna have. So you cannot miss this because people pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to university. Here it's like university education, but very, very short. In a week or two, you will understand a lot. You will really be at the forefront of blockchain development if you understand how this works. So go to the main hackathon page below, you find it, then scroll down and click here, view and soon calendar. So you get all of these events in your calendar. And when we add new events, because new events are added all the time, they're also going to get updated into your calendar instantly. So go do it right now. View and sync calendar on the main Avalanche page and join Discord as well. Let me remind you about the Discord here. You have the general chat. You have looking for a team. All of the different chats regarding the Avalanche Hackathon you find here. And also, as you can see today, actually after this presentation, after this opening ceremony, we will have the team building workshop. And this team building workshops, as you can see, we have every day of this introductory warm-up week. We call this week a warm-up week. It's the first week of the hackathon. And as you know, you have 2 months. You have 2 months to build. So this warm-up week is to find the team if you want. You can be alone also. You don't have to have a team. And we will be doing this team building events in GatherTown. So when you click here on the join, let's see, if you go here, you click view and sync calendar. In the calendar event, you will have the link to GatherTown, where we will be doing team building. Or here, I think you can also click here. But GatherTown, as you know, it's kind of like metaverse for meetings. It's kind of a Google Meet, but you can walk close to someone. Let's see if we can talk to Krassimir here. And you see at the top their camera and stuff, it loads when you're close to them. So this is emulating like real conference. Let's see if we can speak to this person. Everyone has their camera off right now. But yeah, let's go speak to this guy, DeFi camera boss. He had before. Yeah, Birdie is here. So here's an example. And we can be by the fire. It's nice, cozy atmosphere. So here's where the team building events will be. They will be every day. We're moving team building to metaverse. Yeah, what is it? Jim is a cat. Perfect. You never know how people look when you come close to them. Okay, guys. So that on that note, all of the most important reminders out of the way. Let's go to the next guest, because this is we have a lot of guests, and this opening ceremony would be nothing without guests. So next we do have Gabriel Cardona, developer evangelist at Avalabs. We have a lot to talk to Gabriel about. Let me add him to the stream. Gabriel, now you're live. Big shout out to you. Big welcome. You're muted. I think you're muted. Try to unmute.
Good.
Yeah, perfect. We can hear you. So what's going on, Gabriel?
Hey, man. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. Welcome to all of the developers. $500,000 in prizes. That is an absolutely insane amount of money. I'm sure there have been many startups who have started with less than that in their angel round. So hoping to see some amazing stuff coming out of this. And thanks for having me.
Yeah, I mean, that's what is crazy. I myself cannot wrap my mind around this hackathon prizes we have in Avalanche, but also in the Web3 in general. So I'm telling everyone, learn how to be in hackathons, like be innovative, be participative. You always, I mean, the worst thing is that you learn a lot and you become a better developer.
Yeah,
so Gabriel,
the web is undergoing a radical revolution right now. It's obvious the Web3 is here to stay, and it represents a huge leap forward where we're going to be able to tie value and cryptography into the web experience. I always talk about the HTTP code 402, which is payment required. So it's like even when the original web creators created HTTP, they realized there was going to be a use case for micropayments to really fire the web. And we finally have reached that point where we have native payments and cryptography built into the web. And so this is just something you don't want to miss. And some people are put back because they think I don't have the skills, but that's what events like this are for. You can on-ramp in 2 weeks, like he said, a college course worth of knowledge if you really want to.
Absolutely. And that's why, guys, you should go to Hackathon main site, click the calendar, sync all events into your calendar. It's very important. So, Gabriel, you work with developer advocacy. You're developer evangelist, developer advocate at Ava Labs.
Yes,
so please give us an overview. What kind of technologies should people know when they are in Avalanche and when they're building? Give us an overview of the tooling and the ecosystem.
Sure. So I know that you guys briefly touched on this with Luigi when you talked about subnets. I wanted to just kind of talk about what Avalanche is. I think we talked a little bit about what Moralis is, and people wrapped their mind around that. It's like Firebase for blockchain startup. And if I were doing a dapp today, I would start with Moralis. Let me just get that plug out of the way. I've been looking for a startup like this for years, and I think this is the right team to bring it to market. So looking for big things out of Moralis. But with regards to what Avalanche is, you may have not had a chance to deep dive on the technology stack yet. And we're more than just a typical traditional blockchain, which is like one blockchain on one set of validators. So Avalanche is really a global financial network for the issuing and trading of all digital goods. That's the vision. And we enable potentially millions of validators to process thousands of transactions per second with near instant finality. And we do that using a protocol which is completely green and quiescent. And we have paired this high throughput, fast finality protocol with an architecture which really meets the needs of unique decentralized apps and financial products. And that's where subnets come into play. So really subnets allow anybody to spin up a tailor-made network with custom virtual machines and complex validator rule sets with a full range of regulatory compliance built in. And so the way to think about Avalanche is we are really a network of networks where we envision thousands and thousands of these public and private subnets all emerging into what we're calling the Internet of Finance. So that's the high level of Avalanche.
Yeah, and that's a grand vision, and so important that the project has a grand vision. Like you say, it's about moving the whole financial stack into decentralized world, and where you have different decentralization, different permission levels. And can you speak about that a bit when you say that it can be compliant and you can add regulation on top of that? Is it programmable that you can program different subnets to follow different rules? How will that work?
That will really be built into the virtual machines. So the virtual machine is the application level logic of your blockchain. And you can think about it like the blueprint of a blockchain. And if you're familiar with object-oriented programming, and you know there's like a class, which is a blueprint, and then you can instantiate instances of a class as objects. It's the same thing here. You can have virtual machines, which are the application level of a blockchain, and then you can instantiate them into blockchains. And we don't put very many boundaries on what you can do with your virtual machine based. Technically speaking, a virtual machine is a state machine, right? So you have the state of your blockchain, a state transition function, and an API through which users can interact with your blockchain. And you do not have to program your virtual machine in Golang. We have the ability, we have a gRPC API, and if you have a modern language which supports gRPC and you can implement this interface, then you can basically run your virtual machine in a separate process than the main Avalanche Go process. And then whenever you create a subnet, you have to whitelist the validators, and the validators have to in turn whitelist the subnet. And then within the virtual machine, you'll be able to define things like technical specifications, or that's where you would put the regulatory compliance. So it would be programmatic in the virtual machine.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, sorry, I don't know if you hear, Gabe, do you hear this noise?
What is it? I don't.
Do you hear this noise sometimes, or is it just me? Never mind, guys. Yeah. I think it's just me. Maybe I'm imagining some noises. I thought maybe I have something in the back. You know, always close all tabs. Maybe I have some tab open.
Got it.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, sorry guys, sometimes hearing sound. So I really like what you said about like instantiating new virtual machines, and they're programmed in a certain way, and they have different specifications built in. And what is the time frame approximately of that? Because many people know that it is EVM now, but we just discussed that there is going to be so much more than just an EVM. So do you know the timeline of that? What are you guys planning there?
Sure. So today you can already launch your own subnet, and you can create an asset on the X chain, and you can have that asset be the fee-bearing asset on your new subnet, and you can launch instances of your own virtual machine. So you can actually do this today. This is live in production. You can do it today. We have a bunch of developer tooling, which is what I wanted to touch on next. We have Avalanche Js, which is our our TypeScript front-end library. We have Avalanche Go, which is our full node. We have a 5-node network, which you might compare to Ganache if you're used to the Ethereum developer tooling. We have a Postman collection. We have a wallet. We have a faucet. So we have the full suite of developer tooling. And then you can basically spin up your own custom virtual machines and launch them on your own subnets. So that's basically live today. What we're going to be introducing in the next set of network upgrades is permissionless subnets. So as I mentioned today, you have to whitelist the validators on your subnet. But what if you wanted to launch a Bitcoin subnet and allow anybody to join it and mine it? We need permissionless subnets. So that's in the works now. And then what if you wanted to basically add regulatory, what if you wanted to say every single validator in my subnet needs to be part of this legal jurisdiction, that kind of stuff. So we're adding that in the next series of upgrades. Permissionless subnets. Oh yeah, another thing we're adding is cross subnet asset transfers. So one of the really powerful things about Avalanche is that you can cross assets between subnets and different blockchains as well.
Yeah, and it's going to be very interesting to follow how we can integrate it, because right now Moralis has full support for Avalanche C chain, and you can easily log in a user, get all transactions, get all the real-time alerts, everything about the user on mobile, in Unity game engine. You can do that easily with Wallet Connect, and that's going to be a whole other dimension. How now can we connect all subnets? And should we even think like that? I mean, should we think that all subnets should be connected, or will they be more separate? So, for example, if I'm building something on C chain, it's more like EVM, Ethereum. Is it meant that I can now interact with smart contracts and different things on other subnets, or do you think it's going to be more separate?
I think we're going to see a full spectrum. So I think whenever subnets finally go live, we're going to see everything from completely permissionless subnets to totally locked down in permission to subnets. So I would expect for the permission subnets, Moralis probably not so much to support them, but for the permissionless ones, what I'm hoping is that we see an emergent standards body. So I know standards bodies can slow things down, but I'm of the opinion that the W3C really made the modern web flourish whenever it brought the HTML5 specification to fruition. And so something that's just never happened in the blockchain space, and I've always been kind of surprised by it, but I think it's because things move so fast, is there's just not standards everywhere. And so I'm hoping that there will be some type of interoperability standards which emerge, where you can treat virtual machines and experiences on different subnets in a way which is generic enough to where perhaps there can be an API or something that can be written where Moralis can support them in a way. I think that'd be the way to do it.
And it's interesting that you bring up the web, because the web, it's chaotic. If I want to build a website, I need to learn HTML. Okay, perfect. Then CSS, completely different language. Then JavaScript, a third completely different thing. Then it's not even good, because then I need React. I mean, it's all of this madness. You put some tech together, and in a way, it's kind of like blockchain as well. We have our EVM, then we try to bring some kind of L2 on ETH, and on Avalanche it is Subnet. So I think it is important that we do have some kind of standard body that comes in. Maybe it's formed by our community, because we are very good at forming standards ourselves sometimes, like for example ERC20, ERC71s, and we need to standardize more, but we're still in this discovery stage where there are so many different ideas, so it's too early for that maybe. But it's very interesting that when you look at, some people complain, oh, EVM this, EVM that, or they look at the Avalanche, or they look at other Solana, Polkadot, they look at the different blockchains and they find all the flaws. This is why it will not work. But then you look at the web. I mean, the current tech stack is maybe the worst one you can think of on the web, If we just restarted the web, would probably make like one programming language at least. So how do you view this? How do you view this? Do you think that there's going to be some kind of standard not only between the subnets but also across all chains? How do you see this speculative future?
I do. I think ultimately standards are what are going to be needed for the blockchain to reach its full potential and be as meaningful as the web and beyond. And so you can think about the previous world where there was Microsoft versus Internet Explorer. And every single website that was built had a little flag at the top that said, works best in IE6, works best in Netscape 4, whatever. And then there was HTML5. And HTML5 now, I think there's, how many different browsers implement this same specification? Obviously, there's Internet Explorer and Opera and Chrome and Microsoft and, so many different browsers. And you can write an app and be sure that it's going to launch and it's going to work across all these different browsers. And so we really do we have emergent standards, like you said. We have ERC 721. We have the BIP standards bodies, the EIP standards. We have these sort of emergent kind of things, but there's nothing that's sort of official. And just looking at all of the different tech stacks across, when you build a web app, all of the different stuff you deal with, most of it has worked its way through a standards body. And there's just so many assets that live on the blockchain. And I still think regulation and regulatory compliance is something that's in our future. And so I think the amount of total value locked in eventually will sort of force the hand, and there will have to be some type of standards.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Gabriel, thanks a lot for being here. Any final words before we wrap up this section?
No, just to say, best of luck to everybody. Again, $500,000 is a life-changing amount of money. You could easily start a startup from that. So hopefully we're going to see some massive adoption. And yeah, you can reach out to me if I can help in any way, and just best of luck.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Gabriel. And guys, I discovered exactly where the noise came from. It actually came straight from the metaverse, believe it or not. It was from GatherTown. I showed you GatherTown. I was walking around. I didn't turn it off. So when people come close to me and they listen to the stream, I get feedback. But anyway, it's solved now. And yeah, the worst thing is when you get feedback in your call, because the brain cannot function at all. Anyway, moving on. So we have a big guest coming up. The big guest is, of course, Patrick Collins from Chainlink. Before we give you Patrick, we do have an important explanation to make. What exactly Moralis does and how it works. I mean, in many ways, you can think of it as the Firebase of crypto, like Gabriel said. Let me share the screen. In many ways, you can think like that, because basically it is that you come to Moralis, you get an API key, and instantly you can connect it to your front end. And when people log in on the backend in Moralis, it's everything synced. All the transactions, all the user balances, all the NFTs, all the tokens, everything is synced on the backend. And soon we are open sourcing the core solution of Moralis, so you can even self-host it. And this is very important. And like I told you in the beginning, the mistake that many people make when they build apps is that they start building around an RPC node. Because if you connect straight to the RPC node, you're setting yourself up for 6 to 8 months of development just to get the basics. What are the basics? For example, how to log in a user and verify signature. You have to build that yourself. How to ensure that when you have a user, you get all of their assets, transactions, and everything about the NFTs, all the metadata. And you normally have to do it yourself. You have to build a backend for it. How do you ensure that if you have a real-time application, that you have socket connections? You have to build that yourself. How do you ensure that you have an API so that you can actually access everything? You have to build that yourself. So at the end of the day, without Moralis, if you want to build a dApp, you need to have a full backend team. And as soon as your app gets a bit of traction, not only do you have to find all the bugs, because you will have a lot of bugs if you build this monster yourself, you have to scale it. You have to ensure that it actually works with 1,000 users, 10,000 users, 100,000 users. You have to debug. You have to maintain it. And the problem also becomes, how do you go to other blockchains? Just like we spoke right now with Gabriel, how do you go to another subnet? Or if you want to add a bridge to, let's say, Polygon or something else, how do you do that? It's very problematic. So your backend team needs to be hard at work. And Moralis is the solution which does all of this. And it is cross-chain by default. So for example, in this hackathon, the focus is Avalanche. But let's say you want to build some kind of bridge so you can take assets from other blockchains into Avalanche. You can easily do that with Moralis. But the magic is that, think of it as Firebase of crypto, where you don't have to build your backend. You just connect it to the SDK, you write Moralis Web3.authenticate. This will log in your user across all wallets with Wallet Connect. It will work on mobile. It will work in the browser. You don't have to care about anything. As soon as the user is logged in, you have all of their assets in the Moralis database, which you just access in the interface. You don't have to run it. You don't have to host it. You don't have to do anything. But you could host it. So that's the thing. When we open source, you can also host it yourself. Most importantly, as soon as the user moves something on chain, everything in the database is updating automatically. So your database has the state of your user always, all their transactions, NFTs, tokens, and so on and so forth. So you can use it straight in your app. Very easy to use, for example, to get transactions, get balances, get tokens, get NFTs. So if you think about it, you write 1 line of code to log in, 4 more lines of code to get transactions, balances for native asset, for tokens, for NFTs. And basically in 5 lines of code, you've built a wallet. I mean, literally, you have a DeFi dashboard with all of this information. And think about how long time it would take normally for you to build something like that. So I do encourage you heavily to go to our YouTube channel, which you are watching right now, but ensure to subscribe and check out the videos here, because we have, number one, the full course on Moralis right here. We have different use cases, like, for example, how to clone OpenSea in 2 hours using Moralis. We had this on the 30th of November, we published last week. We have a lot of material how to create mobile apps. So this is an example how easy it is using Moralis. You can create a mobile app and you can chat and you can send messages in real time. Using Moralis, very, very easy. Of course, fully compatible with Avalanche. And to be part of the top 3 prize pool, which is 175K, you have to use Moralis and Avalanche. So that's very important. You can go to docs.moralis.io. You can find all the documentation here about Moralis. So for example, how to log in user, I already showed you it, but you see it here. And you have a lot of explanations. You have videos, here's Wallet Connect. How to send assets, you have it here with a video always. How to do different things, for example, how to get NFT metadata, how to get NFT owners, how to get all kinds of data that you normally would not be able to do yourself without massive backend. For example, if you want to know all the NFTs that your user holds, normally you need to index the blockchain. Or if you want to search, let's say that you have some kind of app, you want users to search NFTs with free text. This is also impossible without a massive backend indexing everything. So basically, if you think about use cases like OpenSea, Zerion, Zaprify, Uniswap, all of these big dapps, we are giving you the tools so you can build your own, because normally these dapps have massive backends. To build a dapp, the number 1 time-consuming task you'll do is the backend for it. To sync the graph, to ensure that you have the graph running, all of that. And Moralis shortcuts it completely, so you don't have to have your own backend. Now, if you want to learn more, go to YouTube. You are already here. Subscribe, and I recommend you this full course that we published actually yesterday. It was yesterday. Full course for beginners. Very, very important. On that note, we are bringing another key guest, which is Patrick from Chainlink. Before we do that, again, reminder. I'm reminding you about most important things. Go and sync the calendar. If you haven't yet, go and do it right now. Now, we are bringing on Patrick from Chainlink, because Chainlink is also one of the sponsors in this hackathon. And it's so good to have Patrick with us here. Let me see, add to stream. There you go. So Patrick Collins from Chainlink, welcome, big, warm welcome. It's so good to be back with you.
Likewise, Ivan. Always a pleasure to be here. Absolutely love the energy, per usual. Excited to be here. Really excited for this hackathon. Really excited for everything that's going on. Yeah, prize pool's absolutely insane. The tools here are absolutely insane, man.
Insane. And Chainlink, of course, is the Oracle solution, and you guys are on Avalanche. I mean, otherwise we wouldn't be here. Tell us a bit about Chainlink and what it's used for, and how can people use it in the in this hackathon.
What a perfect setup, Ivan. What a perfect tee there, huh? So as we know here, my screen is a little bit closer. Oh.
Wait, one second.
Bouncing around, no worries.
Let me figure this thing out.
I should have given the heads up that I had the slides ready to go.
Yeah, guys. So stay with a solo layout. There you go.
Hey, all right, awesome. Yeah. So as we know, smart contracts run on the blockchain, right? Like, we're working with the Avalanche blockchain to make these insanely powerful, digitally superior agreements, right? That's what these are. That's what this whole thing is about. It's building these smart contracts. It's building these amazing tools. Now, these smart contracts are really not that smart at the end of the day, in a weird way. Right? We call them smart contracts, but they don't actually know anything about the real world, right? In order for these applications, in order for these blockchain applications to know what's going on in the real world, they need some type of connection, right? They are deterministic by design. This is part of what makes them so cryptographically amazing. But we want our smart contracts to be agreements, to be better agreements, right? We want them to replace our kind of traditional pen and paper ones. And to do that, we need data and external computation. Now, this is an issue until Chainlink comes along. So Chainlink is this this tool, this oracle. Oracles are these tools that allow us to bring data into our blockchain applications, into our smart contract applications, and do external computation, right? And so the use cases are kind of far and wide. We've done a number of videos. We've done a number of tutorials. We've also done some with the Moralis tool, which is absolutely phenomenal. Definitely recommend checking it out. But some of the top protocols in DeFi are using some of these Chainlink price feeds, right? Synthetics, SushiSwap, Set Protocol, Aave. Aave is one in particular to note, right? Because they are, they are on the Avalanche chain, and they're securing several $1 billion right here, right? And these are all being secured by Chainlink price feeds, right? And so Aave is this wonderful composable tool that you can use to build your applications. You can use Aave, you can use Chainlink. If we go to the Chainlink docs at docs.chain.link, definitely check it out. We can go to the Avalanche feeds, and these are all these price feeds that you can get reliable, decentralized data into your applications for this hackathon, and potentially build, the next protocol that secures $6 billion in DeFi, right? These are the capabilities that are unlocked by using Chainlink and by using oracles in your applications here. So incredibly powerful. There's also a number of other tools that Chainlink has, including Chainlink VRF, Chainlink Keepers. These aren't out on Avalanche yet. They're in the process, but at the end of the day, really anything you want to do, you can do with Chainlink. So Chainlink is this capability. If you scroll down to any API, you can customize your smart contracts to make any API call, like any HTTP GET, any HTTP POST. You can build external adapters. You can customize them. Now, this definitely takes a little bit more legwork to do like this. So if you're like, I kind of want to just get the decentralized data, that's already kind of pre-packaged, decentralized for me, come right to the feeds. You'll be good to go. We are giving out some prizes here. 10 prizes of $1,000. So a little bit wide here. If you use Chainlink, we'll give you money. That's basically what the prize structure looks like here. So head over to docs.chain.link to get started, and really looking forward to seeing what everybody builds. So sorry, Ivan, I took
that's fantastic. Yeah, no, it's very good. It's very good. It's very good. It's very good. So when it comes to Avalanche, so let's clarify that. So right now you can get the price feeds, but VRF, that's for random numbers, right?
Yes, actually, Ivan, if you want to pull yourself back onto the stream. All right,
yes,
perfect.
Here I am.
now we can see each other. So price feeds. Yes, so Chainlink VRF is for random numbers, so it's not on Avalanche yet. And is being worked on very hard and diligently right now. But price feeds, there are networks of decentralized Chainlink nodes right now on the Avalanche chain you can pull from to build these, protocols to do really anything you want. And Aave is an example of one of them, securing $6 billion, an incredibly powerful application. And you can put a Moralis front end on top of it, and just everything syncs together beautifully.
Exactly. And when it comes to how you see Chainlink being used, if you look at the global usage, is it mostly the VRF, random numbers, price feed? What is the common use case?
Yeah, definitely the biggest use case. The biggest use case total value locked wise is going to be price feeds, right? So you're going to get your Aaves, your synthetics, your compounds, all these protocols that are using these price feeds to do some type of DeFi application, right? To secure some borrowing and lending, to price some underlying collateral. But transactional volume wise, it might be VRF. I'd actually have to check the numbers. I'm not sure. So VRF is this provably randomness feature. I'm not sure what the transactional volume is, but that would definitely be second. Third is definitely the Keepers application, which is kind of event-based decentralized execution, which is something that really hasn't existed previously. And then fourth is definitely kind of, I've seen plenty of people customize their nodes to do anything, right? Because the Chainlink node is really a customizable framework to do anything, to work outside the blockchain in a decentralized manner. So it's really all over the place, Ivan.
And by the way, I need to correct you, because you said that you have 10 times 1,000, but actually 50%, my team is writing, 50% is coming from VCs. So on top of that, it's 2K. It's 10 times 2K. altogether. So an important correction, guys. So you just doubled your price for Chainlink. And no, Chainlink, it's a no-brainer to use, because whatever you do, you need some kind of real-time data in most cases. And hopefully we can also get the VRF and keepers on Avalanche. So what is stopping? Isn't it just to deploy the smart contract, or what's the issue there with?
So most of the, I mean, we could just press the button and say, okay, let's redeploy it 100%, right? It's EVM compatible, easy enough. But the Chainlink Labs team always does the due diligence of just making sure everything, because every single chain is slightly different, right? And by slightly different, especially like as you just talked about with, I think it was Gabriel, Avalanche it's its own thing, right? So it has its own, it compiles its own way, it does all these things. And so each one of the, these differences has to go under audit, needs to be reviewed. And so that's the bigger hiccup, because yes, like I've done a ton of demos on Avalanche.
Got it.
Super. All your tools work exactly the same. But yeah, especially for something like this, where it's like, hey, this is true randomness. We want to make sure that it really is true randomness.
Yeah, makes sense. So hopefully we'll see the VRF and keepers on Avalanche as well. And when it comes to hackathons, because you guys have also organized your own hackathon, and it's I will be judging after this ceremony. So what kind of use cases excite you for hackathons? And maybe you have the ideas and the inspiration for our viewers right here who are watching this on YouTube.
This is like my day in, day out. Like I get pitched on the daily, like, oh, I got this crazy awesome idea, and I'm always like, that is a crazy awesome idea. Please build that. And yeah, you have like 150 or something. Like you have like half of the project who submitted to the Chainlink Hackathon used Moralis, which was fantastic to see. But yeah, so when I think of ideas, I usually kind of either do two routes, right? Number one is think of something that you want and try to see if it works on blockchain. Just build something. Hey, this is something I'd love to see, and just build it on blockchain, right? That's kind of the easiest way to get the gears going. And that's where, it also works perfectly with Chainlink. A lot of people are like, oh, I want to do something with, geo data or satellite data or like some random data. It's like,
right.
That's exactly where Chainlink comes into play and can help these applications.
And let me interrupt, because it's so important that people understand this, that whatever you think about real world, maybe some insurance thing, you need to know, get the weather data, or you need to get some other data, some, football data, whatever you have, some sports, politics, whatever you can bring onto the chain, and you can make something with finance around it, maybe betting, maybe prediction market, maybe something else, maybe some financial instrument, maybe some game, whatever it is, it's possible now. And that's what most people don't understand, that it's literally whatever data you have, you give the URL to the smart contract, it calls it gets the data from the servers, and it's all done in a secure way, decentralized way via Chainlink nodes. So that's very important. And what else? I mean, we mentioned politics, sports, weather. I mean, of course, it's everything. But what more can we give people as inspiration? Like, do you have something in mind that you've seen people use in terms of real world data?
Yeah, absolutely. So generally, when I'm talking about projects and what I love seeing people build is I usually actually just say, hey, look at what the biggest applications in blockchain are right now. And I bucket them into what I call the big four. These are just what I think are the biggest one. And that's going to be DAOs, NFTs, gaming, and DeFi, right? So, and every single one of those sub-industries, I guess, are ripe for building Chainlink applications. They're ripe for building applications with Avalanche, right? I mean, DeFi is obviously massive. I feel like I don't even need to explain that. NFTs are huge, right? And if you want, dynamic NFTs, NFTs that change over time, have some type of custom functionality, that's perfect for working with Chainlink. Gaming, randomness is absolutely massive, right? I've seen way too many projects go, hey, I'm just gonna hash some random feature. That's gonna be good enough. And then, their protocol blows up and all of a sudden, that kind of shortcut that they took is now biting them in the butt, and they can't expand anymore, right? Because people can hack them because they're not using true randomness. And then DAOs too. Actually, for part of the Chainlink Hackathon, I saw one group create what they called, what was it? It was probabilistic quadratic voting, which was kind of like this new way to do voting in a blockchain sense using Chainlink VRF, so that the DAOs are more fair, they're more legitimate. Something else I've seen protocols do is they do what's called gasless voting, where they store all the votes off chain, and then they have the Chainlink node deliver the results of the vote on chain, so that they don't all have to pay gas to cast their vote. So really, the use cases are kind of endless. Anything under the sun you want to do, you absolutely can.
Yeah. So guys, absolutely, if you haven't used Chainlink, this is the technology you absolutely have to do. And like as I'm always saying, the worst case is that you learn a lot. The worst case. The best case, you also become life-changingly rich. Can you say that? I don't know why it sounds weird, but I mean, we have prices here, so you become rich. You get the money. Like, how else should I say it? But yeah, you get life-changingly funded, at least for your projects. So yeah, but the worst case is you learn a lot, because also with Chainlink, I mean, you are in all hackathons. I don't think I saw any hackathon without Chainlink. So this is like a skill for life. It's like riding a bike. You need it for life. Chainlink, kind of like riding a bike. Also, Moralis also part of the bike, and Avalanche part of the bike always. Guys, thanks a lot to Patrick, and big shout out to you, Patrick, as always. Do you have some last words?
Yeah, just really excited to see what everybody builds here. I'm probably going to be doing some Moralis demos very soon as well. We did some as part of the Chainlink Hackathon, which was absolutely a blast. But per usual, really excited for everybody here to build something fantastic. As Ivan's saying, this is your chance to really get kickstarted, to either get some funding, to take your application, bring it to life. We need you. In order for this space to really get adopted, we need these protocols to be built. This is the chance to, you can get that funding, or worst case, network with a ton of people and just learn an absolute ton. And that's really going to kickstart your career and kickstart this path, really, no matter how you look at it.
Agreed. Amen. Thanks a lot, Patrick. Have a good day.
Thanks so much, Ivan.
And so, guys, speaking about networking, like Patrick just told you, you have to network. And we have GatherTown Metaverse, as you know. Let me bring it up again. So you're going to see something like that. You're going to join the Metaverse. And this is going to be in 1 hour, actually. So officially in one, but already we have people here in the Metaverse. Now, and here is to find the team. So you go around, you can speak to different people here. Let's see, Ginge, ETH, no connection, Kreshimir. So when it's time for the official meeting, they will turn on their camera, because right now it's still... Yeah, I see David. Hey, David. People cannot hear you anyway. But so this is how it will be. And people are here already hanging out. We need to check the number of people here. I think we have like 100. We need to maybe upgrade it. I think we paid for 100 spots. We didn't think that there's going to be so many, but yeah, maybe we have to upgrade. And by the way, guys, smash that like. I see that we are at 200 likes or something. And we should be at least 240, because 240 people watching this live. So please smash it up. Let's see. I see voices from the Metaverse. Yeah. So how do you find this? You go and you subscribe to the calendar. I'm telling you, go to the main hackathon page right here. View and sync calendar right here. So you get all of this into your calendar. You have all the information how to join in the calendar. More events are going to be added to the calendar as we go along. So you're always up to date. If you go here, view and sync calendar, I keep repeating to you. And also, if you want, you can click here. But this is more of a short-term solution if you click here. Long-term, you need to go and click here, view and sync calendar. So yeah, please remember that. Calendar. Yeah, so Bertie, let's post calendar instead. So people understand that they need to go via calendar. In the calendar, they see the link, because we need everyone to be in calendar. Let's not post gather. We post calendar. So you go to calendar, you add calendar to your calendar, and there you have it. Okay, guys, very nice. Always repeating the most important things. Yes, 240 likes. This is amazing. Okay, perfect. That being said, let's see, Metaverse link. So in Discord, it may be broken exactly, but if you go to is link expired in Discord or in calendar? So this is something for our team to check, because the good thing is we can always update it in the calendar. Link in Google. So guys, we need to change that. Let me see. The link to this is this one. Okay, I will post the link here as well, guys, so you can get it. Calendar link expired. Let's fix that. Birdie and Rasmus, let's fix that as soon as possible. It cannot be, but the good thing, we can always change the calendar link. And the event starts in 1 hour, so we have 1 hour to change. But yeah, we need to ensure that it's always the link that works. And let me post it again here for the first. But let's see, I tried the link. it. Yeah, it works. This link that we yeah, this one works perfect. So let's ensure we always have correct calendar. That being said, we are moving on. We're actually moving on to yet another part of the bike, so to speak. Speaking about our bike analogy, we have with us Covalent, Harish from Covalent. I know that Moralis, he integrated fully with Covalent now. So you can access everything in Covalent via the Moralis plugin. I will show it to you here on the screen. And it's very easy to add to your server. I will share it with you right now. So you go to Moralis plugins, you see Covalent plugin, you need to go to Covalent and get their API key. And instantly here you can access all the features like get block, get metadata, get block height, get chains, like all these different important things that you need in a dapp, you can easily access through a plugin now in Moralis. And with us here, and why am I telling this? Because Covalent is also in all hackathons. I see them everywhere, and their tech is applicable in all dapps, because all dapps need blockchain data. So we are here with head of developer relations at Covalent, Harish. So Harish, you're now live. Big welcome to you. How are you doing?
Doing very well. How are you?
I'm
This is awesome. I've been sort of watching this for the last 30 minutes. Hate that I have to follow Patrick here, but nonetheless, it's exciting to be on this panel of superstars. And personally, I've also watched your videos in the Web3 space just to inform myself of certain things. So great to have the opportunity to actually chat with you in person here.
Yeah, and when it comes to Covalent, please tell us the story about Covalent, because I've been following you for quite some time, and I think you even supported the first Moralis hackathon when we were just starting out, way in the past. So please tell us how you guys started and what is Covalent to begin with.
Yeah, great question. So we're very bullish on hackathons, and the reason for that is because the very idea and even the prototype of the Covalent's first database, which is actually makes up the core part of the tech today, came out of a hackathon in late 2017, where the founders won a small amount of seed funding to keep building, which was then just a research desk. And so, fast forward a bear market, and today with the unified Covalent API, we're powering over 500 projects, supporting 50 chains, including Avalanche, of course, and a fully diluted market cap of nearly $1 billion. So ideas born out of hackathons fuel innovation, and that's why we're super bullish and very excited to be part of as many hackathons as we possibly can, including this one, which with the prize amounts being over $1 million now, it just seems crazy. I am so excited to sort of see what gets built out of here.
Yeah, and when it comes to the different apps you've seen using Covalent, can you also give some inspiration to the participants?
Oh man, we've seen so many fantastic things coming out. I almost talk about it like there is Christmas coming up, and we've got sort of the holiday theme with our backgrounds. But every time a hackathon wraps up, it's like Christmas for me, because I get a chance to go through and see what gets built, and there's just some fantastic stuff. So when we sort of try to categorize what gets built, there's usually some common themes that we see. So everything from multi-chain asset tracking, ROI, cost basis tax calculators. We see DEX and DAO transparency dashboards and analytics dashboards. So you can sort of see what DAO members are holding and be able to track it through in a level of detail that might be hard to come by. On-chain identity solutions, NFT galleries. So recently, we've actually seen a spate of really cool NFT galleries being built, including one that utilized Unity. And it was basically walking through a digital art gallery as if you would in the real world, and be able to bid on these portraits of your NFTs hanging on this digital wall. And you would kind of just do your walkthrough, and just imagine the implications there, where as an artist, you could just share your gallery, have people go through, have gated mechanisms, be able to reward people who come and attend, and then maybe even sell NFTs for people to participate in a real world gallery in the future. There's so many cool applications there. We've seen blockchain explorers and scanners. We've seen all sorts of custom theme wallets. Wallets is sort of our one of our big plays, because with our API, it's very easy to pull balances, transactions, all of your NFT data from one unified API. And so wallets is usually our thing, and we've seen the full gambit. I think some of my favorite ones is like a Mario Brothers themed wallet, done to like music and the full graphics, to all sorts of niche social token wallets that have been built. So the sky's the limit. These are just some examples that we'll also talk through in our workshop, which is scheduled for tomorrow.
Fantastic. And that's absolutely true, guys. Once again, the calendar, the magic calendar, it is there with, is it you, Harish, that you're going to hold the workshop tomorrow, right?
Myself and a colleague of mine, Leilani, will be joining us.
Fantastic. And I'll also join you guys. So the guys from Covalent will explain how everything works. You will show how Covalent can be accessed, and then at the end I'll explain how you can easily use the plugin to do that as well. So perfect. Sounds good, Harish. And when it comes to, because I know you guys have a coin also, so what is the idea there? You guys will decentralize, because right now, as I understand, you run the APIs, right? But you also have the coin. So how will that play out in the long term?
Great question. So yes, we are actually in the process of deploying our decentralized network, and in fact, we're on track for the end of January for this to be live. So we've been sort of focusing a little bit on the education and getting people sort of understanding on what the Covalent network is going to look like, and the different stakeholders and players, and how the token sort of plays into this. But we're very excited to sort of see the launch of that coming up towards the end of January, which is coming up really quickly. And of course, all this means is that the query costs for getting data, with a series of validators, and in fact, there'll come a point where anybody can actually be part of the network and serve as a validator, is really just pushing down the cost of each individual transaction. So to get data should be as seamless and as cheap, as possible.
Yep, perfect. And when it comes to your mission, you said is going to be so basically anyone will be able to run their own Covalent API backend, right? And get rewarded with tokens for requests, or how will that be?
We've got a couple of exciting things. I'm wondering how much of it to spill here. So we've talked a bit about
in a short version. Yeah.
So yes, one will be that, of course, you can be a part of the network, and for running the infrastructure, you get rewarded. The second is actually what we're calling our Class C suite of endpoints. So community built API endpoints, where individuals, developers can actually build their own API endpoint off of our infrastructure, and then get rewarded for those who actually use those endpoints. So that's how we sort of see the growth of the tool going forward into 2022, because we've built out what we call our Class A endpoints, and these are going to be like these are industry leading across all chains. And then we tried these suite of Class B, which were sort of tailored for specific protocols. So we had some for Aave, for Balancer, you name it. But you realize really quickly that's really hard to scale. And so the idea is that the community can kind of build the suite of endpoints specific for their application, and then the rest of the public can signal on those endpoints and sort of promote them. And of course, the developers get rewarded for that. So that's sort of really quickly what's coming up as we build out the ecosystem.
Yeah, fantastic. And when it comes to what's ahead in terms of Avalanche, do you guys fully support Avalanche, or is there something that is not supported? What is the stage of your current Avalanche support?
Yeah, fully support the Avalanche C chain, the contract chain, as well as the Fuji testnet. So it's for anyone taking part in this hackathon, you're able to use that right out of the box. In fact, if you go to covalenthq.com/doc/API, which is our API reference, you can actually use the APIs directly out of the browser, and you can select the Avalanche C chain. You can select the Fuji testnet, and you can make API calls directly in the browser to sort of test it out before you incorporate it into your builds.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Harish. Any final words before we wrap this session up?
Yeah, I mean, super excited. I mean, the Moralis team has been fantastic to work with. The Avalabs team is always a pleasure to work with. So when asked to partner, it was a no-brainer for us. We said we're in, and I'm so excited to see what gets built out of this event. The bounties or the prizes are going through the roof, and I've encouraged anybody and everybody that I talk to take part. So really looking forward to seeing what gets built here.
Thanks a lot, Harish, for being here. And guys, when it comes to the calendar, it should be fixed now. And I just tried it myself. If you go and maybe you have to, it maybe depends on how your calendar app works, but I've just tried it myself. If you have Google Calendar, for example, and you load it in your Google Calendar, and I click here on this, and then I click on this team building thing, which is in 45 minutes, or actually now it says man, we need to, now it actually does not work. The best thing, by the way, while we are figuring it out, go here to Discord, Hackathon announcements. We're gonna put everything here. Let me see. The issue is, yeah, go here, Hackathon announcements, and we're gonna put everything here because our team still, we need to figure this out. Let's see. It's expired. Let's see this one. Yeah, you should go and join the Discord, guys, instead, while we're fixing this, but it will be fixed also. This is how it goes with live demos. You try to demo something live, fails always. That's the #1 rule of development, the live demos. But yeah, let me tag the guys again. Doesn't work. Yeah. Okay. On that note, thanks a lot to all of the different guests here. Let me see. This works. But what is the difference? This is the same as. Yeah, I mean, this works, but it looks the same. Anyway, we'll figure. Go and join Discord, guys. How to join Discord? You find it in the description. Live demos, like always. Now, let's speak about the prize pools, because you all have been waiting for the prize pool, and now the prize pool, it's finally time to reveal it. If I go to the Avalanche Hackathon, Moralis.io/Avalanche Hackathon, you come to the main site. And now, actually, if you refresh it and you scroll down, we have a new section appearing, which is the prize pool. And you can see in all of the different columns how the different sponsors have allocated their prices. And I will soon show you the structure here. And the way it works is very simple. #1 is we have the top 3 projects of all the different projects. All different projects that are here, top 3 are going to be selected. For you to be qualifying for the top 3, you need to use Avalanche and Moralis. You have to use Avalanche and Moralis. And the first one gets 100K, which is insane. I mean, it is absolutely insane. The second one gets 50K, and the third one gets 25K. So this is the top 3, like the best of the best projects in this whole hackathon. They get this. Now, as you can see, it's just a small part of the entire prize pool. This top 3, as you can see, if you calculate it together, it is 175K together, top 3, all right? But we have 500,000 total. What does it mean? It means that, let's say you come first. You earn 100K, you get 100K prize, but let's say you also use Chainlink. You can also get extra from Chainlink. Let's say you use Covalent. You also get extra from Covalent. Let's say you use Benki. You get extra from Benki. And this is how it works. You get the top 3 plus whatever tech you've used. Okay? And the decision is on the different sponsors. Different sponsors give out prices to the projects they like. So even if you're not top 3, listen carefully. Even if you're not top 3, let's say you don't get into top 3, you still get prices if you use some kind of sponsor tech and you get chosen, all right? So to summarize, if you are top 3 best project, you win this, plus whatever sponsor pool that you are chosen in. Even if you're not top 3, you can still win a lot by using the different technologies. For example, we have Alpha Finance, we have Yield Yak, we have Gitcoin, we have a lot. We have a lot here, and you can read yourself all the sponsors. But Alpha Finance Lab, Yield Yak, Benki, Chainlink, Snowball, Pangolin, Trader Joe, Covalent. Use as many as possible. And the thing is, more prices can come. Soon as well. So we're still confirming more sponsors. And this is still the warm-up week. I mean, you see, for example, even our calendar is still warming up. Let me see if the guys have fixed it. Even our calendar is not even, let's see, has it woken up yet? Even our calendar is warming up. So you need to understand that this first week, you can find it. Oh, see, calendar is awake. Perfect, guys. Great fix. So you see, oh, calendar now awake. See, warmed up. So this first week, understand the different technologies that are sponsoring this hackathon. Try them out. So yield yak, for example, you can see how that works. Let's see, best opt-in. We need to maybe be a bit clearer. Is this alpha finance? Let me show you this sheet instead, because we need to improve this site a bit also. It's still warm-up week even for the for the price site. Let me show you this instead, because it's not clear, guys. All of you team guys who are listening, what is this best opt-in notification? Which project is this? Instead, we'll look here for now, but the great work fixing the calendar anyway. Let's look here for now. So as you can see, top 3 is this, like it is corresponding quite well here. Then you have Alpha Finance, 30K, Yield Yak, you see right here, Benki, Chainlink, Snowball, Pangolin, Trader Joe, Covalent. So this is the distribution of the prices. And of course, you have to try it out. You have to try Trader Joe. By the way, Trader Joe, you can get the prices using Moralis SDK easily to get the price about different assets. Chainlink, we just had explanation from Patrick. Covalent, we just had explanation from Harish. And if you join the calendar, you will be getting events, because we still haven't booked all of these events, but we will be booking more and more and more. And remember that we have a lot of VCs also sponsoring, like we said in the beginning, and you can see all of them here on the screen, meaning that if you build something nice, you may get investment. If you build something nice, you may even get a launch pad on Avalanche. So remember, the sky is the limit here. The sky is the limit. And this first week is warm-up. So if you still don't have a team, you still don't have an idea, don't get discouraged. Be encouraged. You don't get discouraged, you become encouraged. Why? Because this is the opportunity of a lifetime for you, because I haven't seen any such hackathon with this community support that we have right now in Avalanche, where everyone is coming together. The VCs, the projects, the infrastructure providers, the API providers, everyone right now is coming together. The prices are mind-blowing, and sky's the limit. This is what I want to tell you. On that note, we still have 40 minutes until the gather town, and I have now full confirmation that the calendar should be working now, so please confirm that's working. So maybe let's go to Q&A. Let's go to Q&A and discuss the different questions you have. And please clarify the question exactly what you mean. Who owns IP? I'm not sure what you mean with which IP. You own your IP, but we can show it. I think in our terms and conditions, we can basically show that you've participated. So we can promote our next hackathon. If you build something nice in this hackathon, we can use your IP to show that these guys were in this hackathon, so we can get participants in the next hackathon. So we can use your IP to show, but of course you own everything you built. I love that Ivan is reviewing and improving the web page live. Exactly. It's a warm-up week. I'm telling you, it's a warm-up week for everyone. It's the warm-up week for us. It's time to wake up. What happens to those who already registered with X amount of members and decide to add? So you do it yourself. Look, how many members is up to you. You register with the team lead. You need to decide yourself on a team lead. You register with team lead. You can be many or you can be few. We're only here to look at the results. I mean, what kind of results do you build? And if results are great, perfect. If and how many you are doesn't matter. Okay, next question. How does the project have to be open source? You need to share the source code with us, but you don't have to have it like public in let's see if I can share the screen. You don't have to have it public, but I think you need to share at least something with us because we need to know that it's working. You cannot share just a video or actually maybe let me double check on that. Don't quote me on this, by the way, because we're not strict on open source. You don't have to open source. But let me double check on that and get back to you in Discord. But I don't think that we require that. Why? Because we want great results. I mean, if you have some idea, let's say you have some kind of startup idea, you don't necessarily want to open source from day one. or maybe ever. So I think it makes sense that you don't open source it, but it needs to work. I mean, it needs to work, okay? And everything on chain, I think, should be open source. I mean, if you do smart contracts, that should be always open source so people can see what they send funds into. But what you do, for example, with Moralis, I mean, that you don't have to open source, yeah. So because we want to foster the startup spirit, and it's not always that people want to open source everything from day one. Like, for example, let's say you build some kind of financial app, maybe tax reporting app. You don't want to open source it, but people can still see their tax reports and all of that. Some examples. So yeah, we're not strict on it's your choice, really. But I think smart contracts you should open source, yeah. But let us come with an official statement on the website. Don't quote me on this, but we will write officially on the website exactly. But it will be that we're not strict on open source. The whole principle of blockchain is open source. Well, smart contracts need to be open source. But when it comes to the UI, like, for example, you have many different companies in crypto. Look at Coinly. Coinly is a service that calculates your taxes. They're not open source, and they're very useful still. So that this is what we mean, that a lot of use cases here, like service providing, it's not open source. But see, people come in here, they try to ruin the Q&A. So everything on chain open source. Your front end is up to you. I'm looking to create a simple dapp bulletin board. Nice. Please add option to add team members' email ID. I'm not sure we will do that. Why? Because it's enough with just a team lead. It's enough with just a team lead. And yeah, it's that's how we'll do it. You could, if you want, you could answer them in the description, because when you sign up, there's like a description box. You can speak about your project. Let's see. Let me speak a bit about what's up in terms of the Moralis stack, because of course we discussed that Moralis is the fastest way to build dapps. You create a Moralis dapp in Moralis.io website, then you get a key to add to your SDK. Instantly you can log in users, you fetch all transactions, everything is working very smoothly. But we will have, if you go and you swing the calendar, you'll see that we have a very important webinar with David, who will be explaining how to use Avalanche in Unity game engine. And as you know, Unity game engine, you can export to Xbox, to iOS, to PlayStation, to everything. And we have even a website for it. We will be calling this Moralis Metaverse SDK, and it is compatible with Avalanche. So basically, you can use Unity to export for everything. And this is just some demo that you authenticate. And when you have authenticated, you can play around, and you can build whatever game you want, because it is Unity. So this is how it looks like. That you scan Wallet Connect and you're in the game. Then we have another workshop during the week with the mobile, and we have all of them here in Ethereum boilerplate repository. So if you want to build mobile apps, we have it here as well with React Native. You can easily do Android or iOS, and it's native apps. And of course, we have Covalent. We have a lot of other partner videos, partner live workshops. So you have to join with the calendar again. But most importantly, it is these team building things, which are every day. So today we have team building actually in 30 minutes, as you can see. And now the link should be working. Tomorrow we have Covalent. Wednesday we have team building. And we may add more stuff live, so please remember. And finally, go and join here. Go and join our Discord. You find the link below. And join here this Avalanche Hackathon channels. Guys, on that note, we are already half an hour above schedule. Thanks a lot for being here. Thanks a lot for participating in this great opening up of the hackathon. Thanks for all the likes, by the way. It's very nice like ratio. I like that. And yeah, we'll be in touch during the week in the Discord, on email, everywhere. Big shout out to Avalabs, Avalanche for making this possible. I mean, without them, this is the best thing with Avalanche, is how they really are open to collaboration, because we contacted Avalanche instantly. We could do a hackathon. And that makes me even more bullish on this ecosystem, because if you have such a team that is very open, ready to work together, ready to organize events, ready to do things, it can only go up from here, I'm telling you. So big shout out to Avalanche and Avalabs for making it possible, and of course all of the different sponsors that are sponsoring it, because this prize pool, I mean, it's massive. So once again, we have Avalanche, the launchpad, and you can be on Avalanche if you make something great here, because of course they're watching it. They're gonna be in the judge panel. Covalent, Benki, Trader Joe, Yield Yak, Snowball, Pangolin, Penguin Finance, Rugdoc.io/Paladin, Chainlink, Krabada, Colony, Adventures DAO, Alpha Finance, big shout out, and to the VCs: 3 Arrow Capital, Republic Crypto, AP Capital, GWV Capital, Gerstenbrot Capital. This is my favorite name, Gerstenbrot, some kind of bread. Alameda Ventures, GSR, Hypersphere, and Mechanism. You know, when I speak about Gerstenbrot, I'm thinking about Stollen. If you're from Germany, you know this bread on Christmas. I actually had it yesterday. I need to buy more Stollen. It's like this bread with some kind of sugar on top. If you haven't tried Stollen, you should try it. Guys, on that note, thanks a lot. Have a good day, and goodbye, guys. Goodbye. And now I need to finish the live stream. 1 second. Okay, finishing there.